great questions you guys have for me. What time are you waking up at night? Put it in the chat. What time are you waking up in the night? Because this is important. We're going to really talk about this so you can focus in and understand what's going on with your body. Okay, so some people are saying 1 to 3 a.m., 3 a.m., 1, I wake up between 12 and 2 a.m., 3 p.m., 3 a.m. approximately, 3 to 4 a.m., 2 to 4 a.m., 12 to 2, 3 a.m., and one person says, my bladder wakes me up at 1 or 3. Now, my question for all of you who answered this is, do you immediately go back to sleep? Or do you stay awake? Tell Ruth in the chat. Because this is important. If you just get up, you pee, you go back to sleep, fine. But if you're staying up and you can't get yourself to go back to sleep, this is what's so important to understand. So how many of you are not going back to sleep? Just raise your hand. Just raise your hand. Okay, quite a few of you. All right. Thanks for sharing, you guys. So we asked the question yesterday, and most of you had used aromatherapy, and only a few of you have used reflexology, and you really hadn't used it for sleep from what the consensus was. So let's look at that today, and we're going to really dive into reflexology and the reason why it works so well. So I have used it, and like I said yesterday, aromatherapy and reflexology together have really helped my clients. Not they only fall asleep during the session, but when they go home and that night they sleep so well. And it was interesting because our Monday, I had an emergency client. They had a urinary tract infection, so they hadn't been sleeping well, hadn't been going to work, and they had had the urinary tract infection for a month, and they had taken medication, and they still weren't okay. So I sent over a little herbal formulation because it's a neighbor, and I sent over and said, just take one of these capsules tonight, and then tomorrow you can go to the health food store, and get the things that you need. So they came in, the person came in to me, and we really worked, we worked all of the reflex points on the feet, but of course I got there and in there and worked the kidney and the bladder and all that area really good. And I sent her a message yesterday, and she goes, I'm back to work. I feel great, and I'm doing exactly what you said. I went to the health food store, got the things, started taking them, and I feel better. Now, reflexology, because it helps people sleep, it helps them heal. And when we can sleep, our body can detoxify. It can help itself to fight off bacterias and viruses. And she was able then to not have to get up all night long, and then when she peed, it was just a little bit of pee, right? Now she was going less frequently, and she had a large volume. So when I worked in there on those kidneys, you see, and opened all that up, and then she started taking and using the essential oils. And what I wanted to tell you was, how a lot of you hadn't used lemongrass a lot. The essential oil I used with her was lemongrass. And it was a lemongrass, it was 23 drops of lemongrass to 1 ounce of carrier oil. And I used a flower essence blend from the Flower Essence Services called Yarrow Environmental Solution. And so what it does is it works on the energy field. It helps get, rid of environmental toxins. It really pulls you back in and knits your energy field. So I just wanted to share that with you about using lemongrass yesterday and how we used it for a kidney infection too. So some of you said here, I have troubles falling asleep, then sleep through the night. Others of you said, I stay awake for a while, sometimes short, sometimes an hour. Another person said, at least half the time I stay awake after they've fallen asleep. And one person said 60% of the time I return to sleep. And one person said, I usually stay awake. Okay, thank you guys for sharing that. So this is what we did yesterday. What is insomnia? How long before no sleep is considered insomnia? What are the common causes of it? What are the common chronic illnesses connected to it? Was an essential oil? How essential oils can support you? And we did those 5 essential oils. We did lemongrass, we did neroli, we did lavender, we did peppermint, and we did orange. And we made our formulations yesterday, and we talked about the safety. So today we're going to be looking at the history of reflexology, how to understand your sleep patterns according to the traditional Chinese time clock. What are the functions of the heart meridian in traditional Chinese medicine? Why is balancing the heart meridian important for sleep? Heart Meridian 7 for insomnia and stress video. And we already had someone said they watched it before the class. That's fantastic that you watched that. And they said they really liked it. What is reflexology? Reflexology charts, reflexology points for insomnia, how to apply sleep formulations to the reflexology points, and then we'll do our mindful breathing. So the history of reflexology. According to Kai, reflexology is an ancient therapy that was used by the early Chinese, Egyptians, and North American indigenous tribes for healing, but it wasn't until the 19th century that the medical community, nursing, complementary, and alternative medicine practitioners began to explore it scientifically. So did you guys know that in our level 3, our clinical aromatherapy program, that we offer a reflexology module? How many of you guys knew that? Raise your hand. That we offer a reflex module. We also offer a flower essence module and a more in-depth on the personality and how you can work with the personality of a person through emotional healing and through knowing the personality essential oil. We have that. And we also have it where you can understand the temperament through the chemical families and how to make balanced formulations for their temperament. So we want to let you guys know that. That's pretty cool, huh? So how to understand your sleep patterns according to traditional Chinese time clock. So now all of you guys just told me the times. So let's look now at the clock. So a lot of you said that you were having a difficult time. And let's look here. Someone said it was between 12 and 2. So that is the gallbladder. That is where you sleep, you release bile, you have cellular repair, and you build blood cells. From 1 to 3 is deep sleep, detox blood, rest, and recovery. That's where the body, it's where you're kind of planning already, right? Psychically you are. Then from 3 to 5 a.m., that is deep sleep, dreams, and memory, and detox the lungs. And then from 5 to 7 is wake up, release bowels, meditate, large intestine. And then we go to the stomach from 7 to 9, breakfast, good concentration, a walk. And from 9 to 11 is the spleen, clear thinking, and your spleen converts your food to qi, so it gives you your energy. And then From then at 12 noon, that is the time from 11 to 1, that is the time of the heart. Blood circulation, high energy, and you eat lunch. And that's our fire element. And as we go through each one of these times, as you'll see, the elements and how they're connected into these different meridians, because these are the 12 meridians in traditional Chinese medicine. And then we go to small intestine, where you sort and absorb food, low energy, and nap time. That's why after you eat, you're ready to take a nap. And when I first moved to France, people were still taking 2-hour lunches and having a siesta. And in Spain, they still do it, as far as I know. And I think it's just a wonderful thing. We used to do it here more, but they put us on, we're all on this, wheel, and we think we have to eat our lunch and sit at the computer and not take time for ourselves. So this is why it's a good time to rest at that time. From 3 to 5, it's the bladder, energy restored, liquid waste released, work and study. So this is when usually kids come home from school and they do their homework, right? And kidney is store nutrients and build bone marrow, and it's time to eat. And then we go back to back to fire. So you see here we have the heart and small intestine, and then we come here to between 7 and 9, we have the pericardium, which is part of the heart, the fire element. And so what it is that is the time for protecting yourself, because the pericardium protects the heart, right? So now it's time to start decontracting, do some light reading, have sex with your partner, self-care, okay? Then between 9 and 11, this is the time of the endocrine and metabolic balancing, and it's getting sleepy. So this is a good time to go to bed between 9 and 11, because then your metabolism will function better. If you're on computers and doing all those kinds of things, then you have more of a chance of not getting to sleep and having a good deep sleep. So I want you to remember that 9 to 11 is when we work on balancing our metabolism and our endocrine system and getting sleep. If we don't get to bed before 11, what happens then is the gallbladder can't do its job. It can't rebuild the blood cells. And then the liver can't detox. And the lungs can't detox. And then the bowels in the morning don't usually work as well. So it's just a vicious cycle if we don't keep all of this in balance. And I know some people are, they say, I get my creative juices at 9. It's just that I've noticed that when I work with people like that, here what happens is they won't get to bed till 1 a.m. They'll wake up at 5 a.m., can't go back to sleep for an hour. They'll sleep till 8. And then what happens is when they slept past 8, then the day just kind of goes for them. And they find themselves napping and falling asleep in meetings and things like that. So just look at this and see where you were at and what, are you going to bed late? Is that the problem? Any of you raise your hands, are you going to bed late? Okay, a few of you, not a lot. If you're going to bed here at, between 7 and 9, you're going to wake up at 4 a.m. You just are. You're going to wake up around 4 a.m., even 3 a.m. So, you have to think about that too. If you're a person that goes to bed at 8, you're probably going to wake up between 3 and 4. If you're a person that goes to bed at 9, It just depends on how much sleep your body requires. Yes, and someone just made the comment that shift work can really throw you off. And it truly does. Shift work really messes, especially it messes with later on how the bladder and the kidney function. Because you don't ever get the detoxification here. And so then it's hard for the bladder to store energy again, because everything else during the day after you've fallen asleep and you come back is trying to do what the liver couldn't do at night and the gallbladder. So then these organs here, the heart, the bladder, the kidney, small intestine, pericardium, they all just, they're not getting the nutrients they need. And so this is why shift work is really hard on people and their bodies. Okay. So, why is it important? Why is the fire in traditional Chinese medicine, the heart is a very important part when we're dealing with sleep. And the internal medicine classic states the heart commands all the organs and viscera, houses the spirit, and controls the emotions. In Chinese, the word for heart is also used to denote mind. When the heart is strong and steady, it controls the emotions. When it's weak and wavering, the emotions rebel and prey upon the heart mind, which then loses its command over the body. So, it's like the minister, it's like the emperor. This is why we have to really look at fire in relationship to our body. And how is fire? Do we have enough fire? Do we not have enough fire? Are we dry and have too much heat? Or do we have too much heat and too much moisture? It's just one of those things in Chinese medicine that we can look at. And you can, see yourself like this very easily. So Qing Yu Encyclopedia said, Gang Chu's sleep is based on yin, and the spirit is its master. When the spirit is peaceful, he will sleep. When the spirit is restless, he will not sleep. A miraculous pivot, evil guest, the heart is the master of the 5 Zhang organs and 6 houses and the place where the spirit is given up. Another medical reading secretary, the heart is the foundation of life, the place of the spirit also. The spirit is insufficient, the spirit will disappear. From this, we can see that one of the causes of insomnia is mental restlessness. And the main cause of mental restlessness is mental deficiency, which can be further inferred to be the dysfunction of the viscera leading to mental deficiency. So in other words, insomnia is closely related to the viscera of the human body. So the viscera is the soft internal organs of the body, including the lungs, the heart, and the organs of the digestive, excretory, and reproductive systems. So if you've got a digestive problem going on, you're not going to sleep well. If you have a breathing problem, you're not going to sleep well. If you're not getting enough minerals and nutrients to feed your internal organs, you are not going to sleep well. So just always remember that too in your mind. I know this is having to do with aromatherapy, reflexology, but remember, minerals are the foundation of our health. And you can't absorb vitamins unless you have minerals. So, and we did have someone say, I never had problems sleeping till menopause. And yes, hormonal dysfunction. See, you're hot, you're cold, you're this, you're that, you're throwing blankets off, you're putting them back on, you're taking your coat off, putting it back on, you have chills. It's just hormonal imbalance is not funny at all. Once you're through it, it's good, but it's tough. So now what we're going to do is we are going to look at, I've got a thing on top of this. We're going to look at Heart Meridian 7 for insomnia and stress video. So you will go to that and you'll watch it for 2 minutes. And Dr. Brian Albertson, he does a really good job, and he does some other things too. He not only holds the point, but he also talks about the fascia, which I think is really important. So we're going to give you 2 minutes and for you to go watch that and come back. So click that link in the material box. And if you have a question for it, Ruth will let you know. But I'm going to put my timer on for 2 minutes so you guys can go do that. It's a really good video. He does a good job in this. We're going to give it 20 more seconds because the video is 2 minutes and 18 seconds for everyone to get back. Okay, raise your hand if you're back. Because it does take a little bit of time to go back and forth. Okay, great. And let us know how you liked it because I felt that he did a really nice job on this. And let me see what Ruth said, what people have said. Okay. So she'll send me messages about what you guys thought about that video. Now you understand, though, where Heart 7 is, right? So let's take a look at it. But first, before we do that, let's just go through our formulation really quick. So our Sleep Well formulation that we made was 10 drops of orange, 8 drops of neroli, 5 drops of lavender, and 1 ounce of almond oil. And boy, it's delicious, huh? That is beautiful. Okay, that was our first blend we made. Our second blend, called Night Night formulation, is orange, 12 drops of orange, 8 drops of lemongrass, and 3 drops of peppermint in 1 ounce of carrier oil. And this is just so fresh, is really fresh for me. It's nice, it's pleasant. But, you know, I think Some of you liked this one, and then others of you liked the sleep well. So you need to pick out one of them so that way you guys can apply it, okay? So our first one, applying sleep formulation, whichever one you choose, to your H7. Now remember, H7 is on both sides. This meridian is on both sides of your body. And if you look, you've got it over here. It's right in here, okay? You just go over the bone here and you will find like a little indentation in there and you'll feel it. You'll go right there. You'll go to the little well that acupressure point has. It doesn't matter if you do it on the left or the right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my sleep well and I'm going to apply it there in a circle. That's all you have to do, just a little bit. It doesn't take much. And then you're going to hold it. And we're going to hold it for we're going to hold this for like 15 seconds. You can do it 30 seconds to a minute, but since we're doing the class, we're just going to hold it for 15 seconds. All right, now let's go to the other arm, the other hand and wrist area. Put it right in there. And then we're going to go over and in that vicinity. Can you guys see my hand? Great. So we're going to hold this for another 10 seconds. All right. So this is how you can work on insomnia. So very simple, right? You just take your essential oil blend, you put it right there on the acupressure point H7. And this helps you balance your fire meridian. It's also another kind of special point too. So this is a reason why I use this, but that's something we go into more detail in a traditional Chinese medicine class, okay? So there's one way to do it with acupressure. So this is just one way. Now we're going to do something with reflexology. In reflexology, there are 5 zones on each side of the body, okay? And each which spreads down the arms and confined to a single finger. So 5 fingers, 5 zones. 5 toes on each finger, on each foot, 5 zones. So it's while extending down the body and leg until it aligns with corresponding toe on the foot. And it's the same way with the hands. Today we're working with the hands so that way you can see it. Because you know I can't bring my foot up like this with my computer the way it's hooked up. So reflexology is also known as regional therapy and reflex massage therapy. Its principle is that each area of the hands and feet represent each part of the body, such as the heart, the liver, the spleen, the lungs, the kidneys, and other internal organs. And when various areas of the hands and feet are massaged, it can stimulate energy, blood, nutrition, or nerves, resulting in therapeutic effects, just like my client yesterday. I gave her the right things to take internally, and then we used the essential oils on her and flowers with the reflexology, and she was back at work the next day. And I have to tell you guys, she's 80 years old. And she's a designer. She designs, she does design in homes. And so she's still working, and she's a very popular designer. So, it was not normal for her to be down, but what I'm saying is, even with her age, she recovered very quickly once she had the reflexology done, including relieving mental stress, detoxifying the body, promoting blood circulation, losing weight, delaying age, and improving internal health. Now, when I started reflexology in 1988, It was my first reflexology. In fact, what happened was I went to a reflexologist and she became my mentor for 10 years. And she is the one who taught me about iridology. She's the one that taught me about herbalism. And she's the one who taught me about, who got me interested in flower essences. And it was through that I went every single week for 1 year until she moved. She had to move away to Korea. And then we just kept in contact by phone and by, at that time, mail. You know, we had some computers, but it wasn't really very good. And the blue screens, you know, with the white dots, and it was crazy. But yeah, so I lost weight, and I think it was probably one of the best times in my life physically, due to doing reflexology. So here is a foot reflexology chart. So you can see that all the body parts are on the reflexology chart here. And today we're not going to be doing it. I just wanted to show it to you. This is not a reflexology class, but I wanted to show you what it looks like so that way you would know, and so that way you know where the heart is. So here is the heart. The heart's only on the left side in reflexology, and like it is on the body. Now, you could have someone born with a birth defect and their heart might be on the right. You know, we have to consider that too. Then also we'll be looking at solar plexus, which is right here. I'm sorry, my pointer's not working very well. Solar plexus are here, and it's on both sides, as you can see. So here's a hand reflexology, and there we have the heart over here, and we have the, let me see if they, yeah, we have the solar plexus there too, again, right there. I don't know why my mouse is doing weird stuff for me, sorry guys. And then over here again on the right. Okay. So this is a meta-analysis of using reflexology for sleep disturbances. And how reflexology has an effect on sleep disturbances, and if there was any improvements. So what they did is they took 42 articles that had 3,928 participants in it. And what they did, they took the most commonly employed outcome measurement tool, which was the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index. And they followed it by the therapeutic effect between the intervention and the control groups, as evaluated by participants with sleep problems compared with those without sleep problems in each group after the intervention. Results revealed that foot reflexology resulted in a greater reduction in the sleep quality score compared with the controls. Here we have 1.37, 95% confidence interval. And then we have, as for the therapeutic effect, participants in the intervention group were less likely to have sleep problems than those in the control group. The findings suggested that foot reflexology produced significant improvements in sleep disturbances. The impact is what I found even more interesting, because foot reflexology is a non-invasive, convenient intervention, and regular receiving foot reflexology can be considered complementary therapy to improve the sleep quality of adults with sleep disturbances. But this is really what I thought was so interesting. Furthermore, healthcare providers can actively press the solar plexus and heart zones to alleviate sleep disturbances when performing foot reflexology. Now you can do the same thing on your hand. You know, there's been many times I've been on planes and people have been sitting next to me and you could tell they're white knuckling it. You know, they don't like being on planes. And we're visiting and I'd say, oh, you know, do you ever, you know, use essential oils or anything like that? And they're like, yes, you know, mostly people know about lavender, right? And they say something like, oh my goodness, you know, yes. And so I usually have a few little oils. I don't take a lot on the plane with me because, you know, of the size, we can only have very small amount of liquid. So I take a few of them with me, and I have them in my carry-on, and I ask them if they, if they're okay for me. I have some little roll-on things that I use. If they're okay with me doing a little hand reflexology, and they're like, sure, you know. And so it's something, and you see people relax. The other thing about being a reflexologist, most people come in to me for just foot reflexology. But some people are so tense. They're so tense. They hold so much stress in their hands. Their hands can be like this. They're laying back like this, and their hands are still just tight as a tip. And you're like, they are not relaxing. And this is why breathing is good while you're taking a reflexology treatment. So you can have them do some breathing with you. Start off with some breathing. However, sometimes the breathing doesn't change that. So I'll say, you know what? After I finish their feet, let's just do a quick little hand massage, a quick reflexology on your hands. And you can see them just, because their hands is what really needed it. And I probably should do their hands first, then go to their feet, because they're just too tight. So, hand reflexology is fantastic too. So we're going to go to our reflexology points. But first of all, we have to talk about the method that we're going to use. Now, in a lot of areas of reflexology, this is the technique that most people use. It's called thumb walking. And I like to pretend it's like walking the dog, right? I say, well, walking the dog. And some people call it walk the dog, and most people call it thumb walking. So what you do is, for example, and you guys can do this on your forearm, so that way you can practice it. A thumb walk is where the edge of your thumb, okay? And you take it and you inch up with your thumb like that, okay? And your pressure is steady and firm. You're not like a fly on someone's hand or foot, okay? Especially people that are ticklish, that's going to drive them crazy. And so what you're going to do is you're going to do this. Now, Ruth just sent me a message, and someone said that after they applied the night-night formulation in their left wrist with the Heart H7, that the cramping they had in their left wrist is gone now. So that's fantastic. So we can see that doing this kind of thing is very interesting. So here what we can do is we can take our hand, take your thumb like this, and walk up your forearm. Now that's not so easy for me to do that, but it's a way for you to do it. You just have to keep your arm steady. If you can't keep your arm up, I'm trying to keep my arm up so you can see it, but you can put your arm down flat on a table in front of your computer, and you can just walk it like that, the thumb walk. So it's the thumb walk, and I'm going to put it against my body like this so you can see it better, and I'm going to go up like this. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing it on our heart reflex point today, which is on the left hand. So this is my left hand opposite you. And another technique that we're going to do today is where you take the thumb and you're going to go in a circular motion like this, just a circular motion. So I'm holding my hand here, right? I'm holding my left hand. My right hand is holding the back of my left hand. and I'm holding an area. I'm just right now just holding an area, and I'm going in a circular motion. Shannon says, "Oh my God, thumb walking, my forearm feels amazing." It is really, it's interesting, huh? How it really gets in there and works that. It really works all that. And you've got, meridians in here, like your large intestine meridian going through there that can really, you can open all that up. All right, so let's go to our reflex points. So we see them here. And as I said before, the heart is on the left. And what we'll do is on the heart one, we'll put our oil on it. It doesn't take much, just one little circular thing. And then we'll do the thumb walk. Okay, we'll do our thumb walk in this area of our left hand. Can you guys see me? Can you see that? Can you see that? And you just, now what I prefer to do is, instead of just, focusing on the heart reflexes, that you guys go across. This is called a, is it diagonal, I think? Let's go to the next thing here. Before we do that, let's do this. So here's a nice little video, and you guys can put your essential oil blend on. Let's start off with your right hand, then put it on your left hand or vice versa, just kind of all over your hand. And you can just rub your hands together like this. And then you're going to gently massage your hand. Just gently massage your hand like this. This is just to warm yourself up, okay? This is just to warm the hand up before we do those other reflex points. So just take your thumb and do like she's doing in the video, and then take your other hand and do the same thing. And this will warm your hand up and get yourself ready, okay? Pretty cool, huh? All right, how many of you guys have warmed your hands up? Raise your hand. Okay, awesome. All right. Now let's go to the solar plexus on the hand. So the solar plexus is on both hands, okay? And the solar plexus, if we start over here, I've got some on my hand, I don't know where it came from. But the solar plexus are towards the center of the middle of the hand in here, okay? As you see, it's closer, she's got it closer to underneath the index finger here and in here, right there like that. And so you can take your sleep formulation, put it right in there, and go in a circular motion. And then once you've done it, we're going to do it for like 30 seconds. Okay. And if it's tight in there, when it's tight, if it feels, you feel like it's really tight and hurting in there, take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth and massage at the same time. I love to do that. I love to work the solar plexus and the stomach on people and have them do deep breathing with me. They really get relaxed and they really let go of a lot of stuff. Okay, so that was the right hand. Now let's go over here to your left hand. Remember, go down from the index finger and over a little bit, and there you'll find your solar plexus. and go in a circular motion. Now on my left, mine is sore, but on my right, it wasn't sore at all. But I am sore in here. Let us know if you guys are sore. So now let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth as we're massaging this. Oh, this blend is beautiful. I love it. Okay. That was nice, huh? I'm more relaxed. I hope you guys are because I am. Raise your hand if you're more relaxed. Awesome. Great. Thank you guys so much for participating. All right, now I couldn't find a video on the heart. I searched and I searched and I searched, and I kept just getting traditional Chinese medicine acupressure. I wasn't getting any videos for the heart like I had for the stomach, and I had stomach, I had solar plexus, but no heart. So this is a diagonal thumb walk. And like I said, I like, and it's on the left side. Now, always make sure though you do both hands. Okay, both hands. You need to do both hands. But we'll start on our right here. We'll start on our right, and we'll go across this pad here where the lungs and the bronchioles and the chest are all connected. Okay, we'll go there. And so just take your roller ball, whichever one you picked, and go across it like that. It doesn't take much, just a little bit. We don't want it to slip and slide too much. Okay. You want to be able to have direct pressure. So this is a diagonal, and diagonal means it goes across. And what I like to do is I cross it and then I go back, right? And then I come this way, and then I go back. I go back up, and then I go to the center, and then I go down, and I do this 3 times, okay? So let's start over here, and I'm holding my hand like this, doing my best so I can show you. It's harder to do it on yourself and show somebody. So you walk diagonally like this. Then you go back. You can go back like this, back across. And they call it crosswise. I think it's called too, crosswise. And then you go diagonally more again. And then, you come back up, you go back up, and you go across. Now you can put your hand down and it's easier. You can just go across it like that and it's easy. But me trying to show you is more difficult because I'm trying to hold my arm like this. So you go back across, and then you go diagonally again, walk, and then on the base of the pad, and then go back up, again cross, and then go in the center of it, and then at the base of the pad, like that. Now, were any of you sore in there? This one, when you do the pad of the hand or the foot, for me, that's when it's after I've already done all the fingers and I've done their toes and stuff like that. And we get to the pad of the foot, they start really relaxing. They start really letting go, especially on the second foot or the second hand. And this and other reflexology books, I'm trying to remember the reflexology book that I learned more of the diagonal, because in my training, I didn't have a lot of the diagonal thumb walks. But I learned it, I think it was Barbara Kuntz maybe, and her husband, their book. And it said that this going across this way was good for depression and anxiety and things like that. And then as I'm reading in this information now, thumb walking also is good for the heart and it's good for insomnia. So let's do our other hand now. So we'll start out here on the outside at the base of the fingers. Go walk across like this. I should have said put your roller on. And then go across again. Like I said, you don't have to hold your hand up. You can just put it on the ground and on the table and do it. Then go to your base of your pad, like that. Then you can go back, inch back up, and then go across again. And then we're going to go crosswise again with diagonally. And then you're going to go to the base of your thumb walk with your thumb walk. Then you're going to come back up again. And you're going to go across with your thumb walk. And then in the middle again. And then into the base of your pad. Now, what you can do is, if you feel something here in the heart area, which I do a lot with people, you can feel a lot of things in there going on with their hearts. So what I do is, you can just go and do your thumb diagonal walk like this. Just go over it, like 3 times, right? And then you can hold it. So I'm going to have you guys hold it. Take a deep breath in and hold it. Hold your breath and hold that point. Press in tight. And now release the breath and release the pressure. Okay, so now take your hands and we'll do the little, I like to do this here, where go over your hands again. Usually, you know, you can wring your hands like this, or you could go over your hands with your thumbs like that if you want also. And you can wring your hands like this. You can wring your hands. White stuff coming all over my hands. I don't know where it's coming. It's weird. So yeah, that is how you could do get someone just to rest, or yourself. You could do this at night before you go to bed, and it's really helpful. People, you'll sleep like a baby tonight, I hope, once you've done this. So now I'd like you to put your right hand on your heart and your left hand on your solar plexus, because these are the places that we've worked on. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. You're going to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Here we go. Our last breath. Inhale, really expand those lungs and your rib cage. All right, that was so nice. It's beautiful. The smell of this is gorgeous. Oh, I understand what's happened. It's coming off this little label that I have on here. I have a little white stuff. That's where it came from. You can figure that out. So now let's remember, you guys, in your little chat there, in your material box, you've got the thing for my book. Here was a sleep well formulation, a reminder of it. The night-night formulation, a reminder of it too. And now it's time for our quiz. So our first question is, name the cultures that have used reflexology for centuries. What time on the Chinese time clock is best to go to sleep? Is 9 to 11 p.m. the best time to sleep for your metabolism? What time on the Chinese time clock helps you rebuild your cells? And what acupoint of the heart helps with insomnia and stress? Okay, first question. Name the cultures that have used reflexology for centuries. And then we've got lots of great questions here to answer. And there's one good point here too that I'll make that Shannon made. Great things she said. Okay, so let's see what the answer is for everybody. Asia, yes. China, Egypt, Native Americans, right? China and India, Native Americans, China and Egypt, China, India, China. Great job, you guys. So what is the answer? The answer is China, Egypt, and North American indigenous tribes. Good job. Now, what time on the Chinese time clock is best to go to sleep? What time? Whoa, excuse me for my noise. What time on the Chinese time clock is best to go to sleep? It's right across. It's right across there. It's a fire, remember? It's in the fire element. Oh, here we go. 9 to 11, 9 to 11, 9 to 11, 9 to 11. You guys all got it. Good job. It's 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Fantastic. Next question. Is 9 to 11 p.m. the best time to sleep for your metabolism? Yes or no? Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Good job, you guys. What time on the Chinese time clock helps you rebuild your cells? What time on the Chinese time clock helps you to rebuild your cells? This is a good one. It's right there, directly across from the heart. 11 to 1. Okay, one person said. 11 to 1. So see, it's right there across. Let's see if you guys, the rest of you, what you say. Okay, some people said 3 to 5. Some people said 9 to 11. Some people said 12 p.m. Midnight through 6 a.m.ish. Okay, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. All right. The answer is it's 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's the time of the gallbladder is when we rebuild our cells. And it's interesting, you guys, think about this. A lot of people think and it's right across from the heart, right? That wood element is right across from the heart. You have to have wood to make a fire, right? So this is the reason why it's important to get to bed before 11. So the wood element of you can function, the digestive system part. Remember it said insomnia usually is caused by something going on in the viscera, the internal organs. So if we're not digesting properly, then we can't rebuild our cells. And then the heart is not strong. We can't keep that heart strong. So this is why it's important to get to bed before 11 p.m. So that way your body can rebuild its cells properly and then detoxify. Next one. What acupoint of the heart helps with insomnia? And you guys are doing such a good job. What acupoint of the heart helps with insomnia? I don't have anything from Ruth yet. Here she comes. HS. Yes, on each hand. That is correct. So it is. It's H7, not HS. Yes, it is the heart. This is an acupoint, right? This is not a reflexology point. But the heart, H7, is on both sides. Okay? Now let's go to our next 5 questions. What 2 reflexology points did the meta-analysis suggest to use for insomnia? What is the most common reflexology technique? What technique did we use on the solar plexus? Is the heart reflex on both hands? And does breathing help relax you even more after your reflexology treatment? And this is where we have a comment that's going to be really good here too. So our first, what 2 reflexology points did the meta-analysis suggest for insomnia? One person has already said it. They just need to copy paste it again. You guys are doing such a great job. Keep it up. We have quite a few people that have already said now, solar plexus and heart. So keep the answers coming. Solar plexus and heart, you guys are all catching it. That is fantastic. So it's solar plexus and heart. Our next question, what is the most common reflexology technique? Oh, more good answers came through. What is the most common reflexology technique? What did we use today? What did we use? What was it called? Okay, good answers everybody's giving. Point and press, finger walk, yes. Walking, yes. We called it what? What kind of walking? What did we use? Thumb walking. Good job, you guys. Really good. Thumb walking. So we walked our thumb, didn't we? Like that. Yeah, other people said point and press. You could call it point and press too if you wanted. You know, it's just that in some reflexology they call it thumb walk. Everybody, there's so many different reflexology charts too, right? Because everybody has their own chart, but you can't make it like the England chart because they have a trademark on it. And you can't do this, you can't do that. So it's quite interesting to look at all the different reflexology charts. Is the heart reflex on both hands? This is a good one. We discussed that, and then a reflexologist in our group brought up this point. So this answer is controversial, the answer that I've written. So that's why we'll talk about it once we get it up there. Now, some people said yes and some people said no. The answer, if you said yes or you said no, is not wrong, and I'll explain it. So in some charts, the chart that we were using today, it's only on the left hand, okay? In other charts, as a reflexologist in our class said, it's on both hands. And I think it's a good point because not everybody's heart is on the left side. Some people's hearts go across the center of them, some are more to the right. So I think that, this answer, no matter if you said no or if you said yes, it's okay because we did the chart today that only had it on the left. And however, there are charts with on both sides. And someone said here only on left. Some people believe that there is part of the heart on both hands. Yes, and it could be, huh? And like I said, I've known people that didn't even know until they were 70 years old that their heart was not on the left. It was flipped over even, and it was on the right of their body. So, we're all different. We're not all made exactly the same, are we? Did the aroma of citrus neroli help with menopausal women sleep better? That was from yesterday. So if you were here yesterday or you watched the recording, check it, let us know. Okay. People said yes. All right. Yes. And our last question, does breathing help relax you even more after the treatment? Does breathing help relax even more after the treatment? It's like, when you're done with your treatment, like we did, you did your breathing, how did you feel? We have people saying yes. It's great. And the answer is yes. Good job, everyone. Good job. So while Ruth is figuring out who are the winners today, we'll have our Q&A, and I will go through all the questions here that she has said to me. Let me see here. Let me go back. Someone did ask the question is, if you've already a clinical aromatherapist, can you take these classes from our clinical aromatherapy program, like separately, the ones you're interested in? We are doing that this year. We're going to be teaching our reflexology course, and it's going to be in April, but it will be here at my house in California. It will be 2 days before the flower essence retreat. That way I get it all done in 4 days. And that's what we usually do is once a year, we do one of our modules live and we correspond it with our flower essence retreat. That way, the last time we did it, we had our flower essence retreat, and then the next 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, we did our emotional healing with essential oils from our module in clinical aromatherapy. So this year it will be reflexology because we've been working on acupoints this whole year in our common sense. And so we're going to be doing reflexology here at my house in California. So those dates are up on our site at www.lorihargis.com. And I don't know if Ruth got them changed because I've had to change the dates. We originally were going to have the retreat in May, but my husband has decided now he's going to have a knee replacement. And so I will have to go back and help him with that and drive and take him to therapy and all that kind of good stuff at the end of May. But I have to get back the beginning of May. So we will have it the weekend after Easter will be our flower essence retreat. And we also will have the reflexology class, which is 2 days before. So let me get those. You guys want to write that down. Let me get those dates for you real quick here. I live in my calendar now. So the reflexology class will be the 24th and 25th of April, and they will start usually at 9 a.m. You'll have food here at my house. I will offer you lunch, will be part of it. And around my house, I'm downtown Bakersfield, California. I'm an hour 45 minutes to 2 hours from Los Angeles, but I'm 4 hours from San Francisco. You can fly directly into Bakersfield. You can go usually from where you're located, major airport, to Phoenix or San Francisco and come to Bakersfield. Or Dallas. You can do a Dallas one. If you're in the South, you can go from the South, North Carolina, Georgia. You go from your major airport to Dallas, Fort Worth to Bakersfield. And then that weekend on Saturday and Sunday, we will have our flower essence retreat. And it's the same. I offer lunch for everyone, and we have some special. I usually have oh my gosh, sound healing. We usually have sound healing on. We'll have sound healing on Saturday night. Is what we'll do. So I have someone who comes and does a sound bath here at the house for me. So it's lots of fun. So let me go to our other questions that we had because we had more questions. Let me go back here. Oh, a question was, do we use the same amount of essential oil as a flower essence? Well, the question was, when you're making a blend for insomnia for pregnant women who can't use essential oils, then could you replace the essential oils with flower essences? And we discussed it a little bit yesterday, but we didn't talk about the dosage. So I said, yes, you could use lavender flower essence. That would work. You could use orange blossom flower essence, and you could use the peppermint flower essence if you wanted. And let me see what else was in there. And then I suggested chamomile flower essence because it's really calming to you. And you would only do 4 drops of every single flower that you would put inside your blend, your sleep blend for them. Okay? So that's what you could do. You could do that. And remember, there's no smell and there's no side effects to it. So you could do that. All right, that was one question. And let me see here. Did I miss something else, Ruth? Anybody else's questions I missed? Because Ruth now has our winners. Okay, our winners for the book are, it's Catherine Downey, Deborah McCracken, Geo Series, Nancy Haddock, Sherry Steinenberger, Susan Varner, Lynette Reagan, Shelley Massa, Shannon, and Cheryl. All right, this is fantastic, you guys. So it's wonderful that you guys have participated so well today. Congratulations to all of you. And thank you so much for being here with us. And tomorrow we're going to have a special Q&A. So if you have any further questions about reflexology, aromatherapy, please make it. Also, we're going to be talking about our professional aromatherapy fast track program and clinical aromatherapy. So you can see that when we teach, we're teaching you practical ways to use essential oils. So that way you can go out and you can work. You can do something with it. And also you have the scientific research behind everything that you're doing. So we would love to see you. We'd love to have you in our program. Our program does start January 30th. And we have weekly group coaching calls. And you will have our curriculum manager, Sue, who will teach you all about the curriculum. And you'll have me there teaching you about essential oils. You'll have Zoe there, who will teach you all about botany. She's a little expert on that. She's much better than her father and I. We're like, wow, right? Okay, here's another question. Could you ask the Neroli 5% how to use it in the formula? I don't understand the question. Could you ask the QR Neroli 5% and how to use it in the formula? It's just one word. I don't I don't know what it means. Let me see. Could I just use, oh, yes, you could use 5% of jojoba if you want, 5% of neroli in jojoba if you want it, and not use like sleep well or something like that. You definitely could do that. That would work. And so 5% would be, I don't know, around 30 drops somewhere. No, it'd be, yeah, around 30 some drops. It just depends on your dropper, you know, the size of your dropper. But yes, yes, you could. You could do that. That would be great. And a lot of people say, congratulations to all the winners. That's wonderful. So yeah, we want to see you guys there tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about our program and any further questions that you guys have. We want to thank all of you guys for being here with us today. This was so much fun. Ruth and I just really enjoyed being with you today, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow. We can't wait to hear what you're doing with this and the results you're going to have with people. All right. So make sure you stay in contact with us, and we hope that you are in our professional aromatherapy or clinical aromatherapy new fast track program. Don't forget your essentials. Use your common sense. Au revoir.